I feel like I've just uncovered a bit of a money glitch. No, I'm not going to break the game. But honestly, the realization hit, and this is just insane. Now, the concept has been around for a long time, but when the stars align, and circumstances are circumstances, it's kind of silly not to take advantage. At a stretch, you could almost call it passive. I'm not going to bore everyone with the spiel. Everyone's noticed that prices are going ridiculously, crazily high at the moment. You've got to hear me out. When I first uncovered this, I just thought it was too good to be true. So the cheapest level 100 golden dragon on the market currently is 819 million coins. The cheapest level 200 is 2.2 billion. That means with current prices, if you were to buy a level 100 golden dragon and level it to level 200, you would make 1.376 billion. That's 1,376 million coins. Granted, that wouldn't allow you to buy a scrolled hype. However, the difference alone would actually allow you to buy a whole new Fatal Tempo Terminator. But Nitros, how long would that actually take? Well, each level of the golden dragon requires you to gain 1.8 million XP towards the pet. Now thankfully, that's a flat rate, so from level 100 to level 101, you'll need 1.8 million, from level 155 to 156, you'll need 1.8 million. Of course, this differs to other pets where you'll need more XP to gain more levels. When I first bought my golden dragon, I thought this is going to take way too long to actually level up, and I thought, yeah, maybe I'll get it to level 130 from level 100, get bold and sell it. But it's actually quite encouraging to see how fast it levels up. Of course, the fact that you can almost make 1.4 billion just from leveling it is also nice too. Now, a majority of my levels came from Rev Slayer, and I'd say on average, it will probably take you around about 30 to 40 minutes. Probably 30 if you're more efficient than me. That means each time you level your golden dragon up, you're gonna gain 13.76 million coins. Assuming you can level this twice an hour, that means that just from leveling your golden dragon alone, per hour you'll be able to make 27.5 million. But before we go any further, you should subscribe to the channel, become part of the 24%, there's no reason not to. Also, you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of every single video. Now of course, special mayors affect this too. For instance, you're going to be able to level this pet faster during Diana because of the buffs. While everyone's having a miserable time doing Diana and the mythological event, you can just take your time, nice and easily do some revs, drop a warden heart or two and level your golden dragon. At least that's what I did anyway. Now I personally find revs fun because, well, first of all, each boss you kill, you have the chance to drop a warden heart, which is 300 mil, or a Shadow of the Shredded, which is around about 20 mil, or something else like a Smite 7 or a Scythe Blade, which are around about 10 mil each. But that's not the only way you can level this pet. For instance, doing your experimentation table like 3 times a day, which you can if you just pay the bits and so on, you can gain an extra million XP quite easily. You can also grind ghosts. However, I find this quite boring considering at best you drop a sorrow, and it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Also, the sorrow prices have not risen proportionate to inflation. Maybe before this massive inflation, they were around about 490k, and a 70k increase isn't really massive, and you know, it's definitely worth it in terms of the combat XP. You're still going to be making probably 30 mil an hour from the G-Drag, on top of everything you get, so it's still not a bad option. I just personally find it a little bit too boring. Anyway, I talked about special mayors before, and for instance, if you get Aatrox, okay, pretty much every Slayer is going to give you a decent amount of combat XP. So if you have the coins, it'd be silly not to. Not only that, a lot of players during Aatrox are going to do Slayers anyway. Which brings me on to the point that I made at the start of the video when I said it's kind of passive. And if you're going to do an activity anyway, but you just decide to use a pet, then it kind of is passive, even though it's not passive, but it kind of is because you're not doing the event because of the pet, but you're leveling the pet anyway. You get where I'm coming from. Now, since the beginning of Skyblock, people have always mentioned, oh well, leveling and upgrading pets makes a lot of coins. And sure, in most instances, it did and it still does. But on nothing close to this scale whatsoever. Also, at this point, there's a good chance that by the time you've actually bought the pet and leveled it to level 200, you're probably going to have gained even more coins because the price of these pets are only going up. I will advise you though to double and triple check that your pet isn't candied, because if I was to sell this on, I wouldn't be able to sell it for 2.2 billion. It truly is sad times. Now there's one thing I do acknowledge about this method. Of course, and even to start this off, you're going to need at least 820 million coins to buy a level 100 G-Drag. And sure, you could go ahead and buy what is the equivalent of a level 1, which is essentially level 40. That would be 630 mil, and you would save around about 200 mil. Of course, the amount of XP you need to get a G-Drag from level 40 to level 41 is nowhere near 1.8 million, that only starts after level 100. So these levels would go fairly quickly. Also, I wouldn't recommend doing this method if the G-Drag is going to be the only thing you have on the account. I suppose this method is more for players that already have an established net worth, maybe have spare coins and want to invest in something that is not only going to hold its value but make you a ton of coins. And look at this, yesterday the cheapest level 100 G-Drag when I recorded the rest of the video, or the first part of the video let's say, it was 819 mil, okay, fast forward to today and that price has already risen 30 mil. So we're exactly the same level. That just shows you. But even if you bought this pet, I mean I wouldn't buy this one exactly because it's candied, and so is that one, and so is that one. Oh my god, okay, the cheapest non-candied one's actually way more expensive at 900 mil. But even if you bought this pet and decided, well, I don't have the time and I don't have the patience to level it to level 200. Let's say you level it to around about level 150. There isn't any that's level 150 on the market, but there's one that's level 141 and one that's level 163, okay? Level 141 is selling for 1.5 billion. So even if you buy the G-Drag for between 850 to 900 mil, you're still making 600 mil profit. And if you got it that little bit further, the level 163 is going for 1.68. So if you get to level 150, you're probably going to make around 650 to 700 mil profit. Of course, if you've got to level 150, I would definitely recommend going straight to level 200 because you're gonna make way more coins if you do get it to level 200. Honestly, once you get to level 200, it's kind of hard to go back because at that point it's by far the best pet on the game. And you might even just want to keep it. But that's fine, because with a little bit of hard work, you've paid, about 8 to 900 mil for a pet that's actually worth over 2 billion. Having said that, I need to save up for another one, because I kind of want to level one myself. The problem being I have 78 mil in my purse, and I don't really want to dip into my 1 billion bank. Now, like I said at the start of the video, leveling pets is not a new method, it's always been around. But in the past, maybe you buy a level 1 legendary tiger for 15 mil and sell it for 30 or 40 mil. When it's level 100. Don't get me wrong, that's still quite a lot of money just for leveling a pet. But to say that you can make between 1.3 to 1.4 billion coins depending on what time you sell the pet, just from leveling it is insane. Now at the same time, whatever activity you're doing to actually level the pet's going to help you because it is one of the best pets in the game. I understand not everybody can do this because it obviously has a decent barrier to entry in terms of coins. Let me know in the comments, have you ever leveled a G-Drag? Do you level G-Drags? Are you going to level a G-Drag? It'd be interesting to know. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.